Photography's magic is awaiting you. I am Mattie Boom, curator of photography at the Rijksmuseum, and I would like to show you photographs by Ed van der Elsken, currently on view in the exhibition Crazy World. Van der Elsken, he was one of the most talented, accomplished and eager Dutch photographers from the post-war period. And here, the photographer himself. He's inspecting the shots he took while traveling around the world in 1960. Van der Elsken's work archive is our latest and a major acquisition. In all, 8,000 prints, 3,000 contact sheets, and what we see here is only a tiny slice, a tip of the iceberg. In this exhibition, we look over his shoulder. We see how he works, selects, scribbles, draws, and how he makes the layout of his photo books. It's fascinating. It's truly raw material. It enables us to study his selection and printing processes, photography in the making. He traveled through some West African countries. It was 1959. Many of them on the brink of independence. Van der Elsken tried to approach this with an open mind. What were the consequences for the people? How did they live with modernization and change? Here he photographed a man working on the machine, a bit ill at ease. He loved Japan and returns there very often. Apparently already then the face mask made its entrance on the streets. In Harlem he followed protesters against racial inequality. Black people were not admitted in the lunchrooms of Woolworth. There was a lot of protest going on, a lot of actions, and then in the end Woolworth had to adjust its policies. We're standing downstairs now in the photography gallery, and I would like to show you another master of photography, Willem Diepraam, whose work is exhibited here in the photography gallery. In the 1970s and 1980s, Willem Diepraam was Holland's most famous photojournalist. He was a true observer and he brought strong photographs, which, he argues, tell their own stories in their own visual language, a universal language which can be understood by everyone all over the world. This group of caravan dwellers interacts. They look at us, suggesting some distance, and in the background 2 white caravans make the composition and the story and the setting complete. And now, to conclude, I've taken you to the impressive Rijksmuseum Library. This is where you can see our photographs when they're not hanging on the walls. Photographs are vulnerable to light because of their chemistry. We keep them in safe boxes, and I would like to show you some of our real treasures from these boxes. Hendrik Breitner being one of these treasures. In the late 19th century, this Dutch painter, a very gifted amateur photographer, hunted the streets of Amsterdam, literally, on the lookout for gripping scenes and moments. Thousands and thousands of snapshots he made, like this one, where we see the young man standing there. He is or has been peeing in the canal. Or this, the first and only surviving Dutch Kodak album, photographs done by Willem Frederik Pieck. And here we see photography's major change before it becomes the art of the 20th century, from a stiff portrait from the photo studio to a careless snapshot full of life taken by one of your friends or relatives. If you can't come to the museum today, any day in the future, you're welcome here in the Rijksmuseum Library and study room to see whatever you want. Whether it's van der Elsken, whether it's Diepraam, whether it's Breitner or one of our photo albums. Don't hesitate. Photography's magic is awaiting you.